Hello, it is March 2021. Welcome to our listeners episode.
You know what this means? We're a sixth done with 2021.
That's not right.
Yeah.
6, 12, 18 months.
There's 12 months.
And so that would be a quarter.
No.
I see what you're saying, because we finished February.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like through March.
No,
like
we're not a sixth done. After this month, we'll be a quarter done.
I see. Yes, after March, we'll be a quarter done. I don't know. Listen, I don't know why I'm challenging you on math, but welcome to our March show. Eva sent us a bunch of stories and said, don't look at the subject lines, and then said, sorry, I yelled at you. So
I feel like last year our theme, like we had a theme every month for stories, and I feel like this theme now is just different instructions from Eva every time on to not look at a certain part of the paper.
I kind of like it, because I kind of like being told what to do so I don't have to figure it out myself.
Amen.
So it's kind of a relief, honestly. It's like takes the pressure off. So yeah, well, I guess it says you go first, and then she apologized to me. So there are a lot of apologies going around in this email.
Okay.
I haven't accepted the apology yet. We'll see how I feel after the episode is over, but
TBD.
You're up. TBD.
I did just tell Eva, I was like, as long as it's not like a subpoena from Zach Bagans, we're probably okay.
Okay, wait. And then Eva said it's the opposite of that, which we were like,
let's all go on a journey together and try to figure out what the opposite of a Zach Bagans legal subpoena document is.
Yeah, from the Haunted Museum. So we'll see what it is, but
I understand already, I think, what the theme here is.
Tell me you figured it out after looking at a subject, not like off the top of your head.
No, I figured it out because I just opened the first one.
That's what I just said. After looking at it, you figured it out, right?
Oh, after looking, yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen anything. I was like, you are way too smart for me today. Okay, so I haven't seen anything, so you can surprise me then.
I think right away. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if you will if you remember the reference.
I probably don't. I'm glad that you recognize how terrible my memory is.
So, well, I only say it because it was one small, like, random tangent brain thought that I said out loud, and you were like, "What the fuck?" And
wait,
then
when was it? Was it when I was editing, or was it before I was editing?
No, it was a couple weeks ago. I'm just gonna go, and I think if you remember the reference. Maybe this isn't even the theme, but I have a hunch this is what Eva was talking about.
Okay,
I'm just going to go. And if you don't know it by the end, I'll tell you what I'm referring to.
Perfect.
Okay, so this one, first of all, if the theme is what I think it is, thank you to everyone who listened to me in that random reference. This makes me so happy, and my dopamine levels are at an all-time high. So this entry is from Mothman.
I know it's the freaking slam poetry or whatever by cryptids. You have got to be kidding me.
At least
of course I remember this.
Listen, I am so happy, even if this is only a one-off. But for those of you who don't know, I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I thought it would be really funny if people submitted slam poetry as cryptids, and we would see what the cryptids would sound like at a slam poetry contest. So I couldn't be happier. I said this was all I wanted, and I meant it. So
I actually am gonna lay here and imagine that Mothman is serenading me with his poetry, because that feels really romantic and like right down my alley. So I'm just gonna lay here. You go ahead.
Candles are lit, the lights are low, the door is locked. Lower the blinds. And I'm
on my fainting couch just in case.
And this one, and also it's a belated gift for Valentine's Day, as I'm gonna
yes, very romantic. Good point.
So this one by Mothman, who goes by they them, obviously. The subject line is red love. Which I imagine has something to do with their eyes.
Their eyes, yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is Red Love by Mothman. And remember, we do snaps at the end because we're at a coffee house with this poetry slam.
Oh, I see. Okay.
My eyes are red, and they awash the world in hate, anger, loathing.
Stop laughing during slam poetry, Em.
It's not as romantic as I thought it was going to be.
I feel like I need to like snap as you go.
We need someone with like a what's that? Like a tambourine or something. Okay. My eyes are red, and they awash the world in hate, anger, loathing.
I'm keeping the tempo.
My wings beat faster and faster. Oh, I see it. Okay, I see. Let's start over. Hang on. I'm seeing the theme here. Okay. I got it. I'm ready. Do the snapping. I'm on it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Sorry, Mothman. Okay. My eyes are red and they awash the world in hate, anger, loathing. My wings beat faster and faster, hunting, chasing, catching. It's a hurtful world and I open my mouth to screech, buzz, cry. For no one can understand the pain inside, clawing, fighting, hurting. But then I see you, you who are tall, hairy, beautiful.
Thank you.
You who walks with a speed that is crushing, deadly, fantastical. You who understands the loneliness, fear, pain. And suddenly, my red eyes see the world with passion, lust, love. My heart is the one beating faster and faster, searching, yearning, wanting. My mouth bends open to shout, trill, moan. And there's a different pain inside that's clawing, pushing, festering. Because you are worth it all, my 8-man grizzly bear Bigfoot. The end.
Rated R. Rated mature.
Hi, my name is really Melissa She/Her, and I hope you all enjoyed this poem. I had a lot of fun writing it. I will be here to write more cryptid or ghostly poems if you want. I have a degree in creative writing for just this purpose.
Clearly.
Thank you for all you do. Oh my gosh, that really...
I thought they were going to say, I'll be here all night. I was like, okay, we're ready for you. We're here all night too.
I'll be over at the smoothie corner of the coffee house.
Yeah, I'll be at the espresso bar because, wow, I feel wired already.
I am overwhelmed. I had no idea where it was going to begin or end.
I just opened the folder and I see the one you just read like from afar and I can see how they're separated like verses. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Eva, you really are killing the game here.
Just brava. I don't know if all of them are spoken word.
No, the next one is not, which is probably good because I feel like I wouldn't live up to what you just did for me.
Okay, well, we'll see how the rest of the night goes, I suppose.
Yeah, that was really beautiful and romantic. And I know that this is putting a lot of pressure on Eva because this comes out the day after the next episode. But can we get some like smooth? Well, actually, let me listen to it. Maybe the snapping works. But if not, we can put some smooth jazz underneath.
If there's future spoken word that we cover in this, we'll leave the snapping for the first story, and then we'll do a little smooth sax on. And
then we'll do some like low baritone, some bass. Yeah. Okay, perfect. We can even have some like in the background, like an espresso machine, like hissing. It'll be beautiful. Okay?
I actually just look up coffee shop ambiance. And that'll probably be it.
Great idea. There's probably like free, royalty-free coffee shop music out the wazoo.
Speaking of which, let me do a shout out to my favorite ambient YouTube channel.
You taught me about this. It's great.
I love them. It is Nemo's Dreamscapes. I don't know who you are, but brava. You are what I listen to every time I have to do any computer work. Please go listen to Nemo's Dreamscapes if you...
It's awesome.
It's delightful. So anyway,
my personal favorite for focus is the Deep Focus playlist on Spotify. I swear to God, it like puts my brain in a trance. Ooh. I think it's like those binaural beats and it like gets in your head. It's amazing. So depending on what you're doing,
when in a pinch, I just look up fires like fire
a crackling
pits.
A
crackling or like a windstorm, rainstorm.
I love a good rainstorm.
Mm-hmm, there's one like that on YouTube that's like campfire by the lake, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bit of everything.
That's nice. Sometimes I get anxiety, like it just kind of builds up where I'm like, what if there's someone hiding behind a tree by the lake? And then I'm like, this is not good. I need to go back to my deep focus.
It's actually your tall, hairy Bigfoot. Great,
my red eyes gaze upon you. Wanting, waiting, clawing.
Yep.
Okay. So I started like a new mission in my life, which is to get everybody to sleep on a Helix mattress because I've been sleeping on one since we moved, which was like almost a year now. And I got my mom one for Christmas and it has changed the game. Like both of us talk about how well we sleep nowadays. Helix has changed the game truly for both of us. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes. You know how we like a quiz to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. So why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? Because with Helix, you're getting a mattress you know will be perfect for the way you sleep.
Ringing endorsement. Just go to helixsleep.com/drink, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life.
Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/drink.
That's helixsleep.com/drink for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows.
So this is probably embarrassing, but I actually made a recipe that I found on TikTok yesterday. It's like the boursin pasta bake. And I got out my mise en knife and I used it for every part. I used to have like a knife set and I'd be like, this knife goes for this and this goes for this. I'm telling you, this mise en knife cut everything from like the parsley to like bigger items to softer, like tomatoes, everything. It was amazing. It replaces the entire set of knives. I don't even use those anymore. And by the way, it's beautiful. So I feel real fancy, you know? It's uniquely sloped handle, not only allows you to chop more efficiently, easily, and safely, but it's elegant and you want to show it off instead of just putting it away in a drawer.
It's almost like a one-stop shop for a knife, but it's a one-stop chop. Get it? No?
Beautiful.
Okay. Yikes. Step up your cooking game and maybe even your pun game now and head over to misen.com/drink for 20% off your first order. That's misen.com/drink for 20% off your first order.
Misen.com/drink. Anyway, this is from Gabs, who uses she, her pronouns. Thank you, Gabs. And this is called Quarantine Station Haunting - very topical.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, and that's why we drink /spooky yang. I am an American who has been living in Sydney, Australia for 8 years. My hot Australian boyfriend. Okay. All right.
Okay. Whoa. It's all sexual.
Get it, lady. Jeez.
I'm getting, okay. You're just humble bragging all over here.
Yeah, seriously. But... And honestly, like, go for it, man. I'm proud of you.
I'm only jealous. That's what this.
We're just jealous.
That's the energy you're hearing right now is just jealousy. That's all.
My hot Australian boyfriend and I decided to go on an early Valentine's Day staycation at the quarantine station. Originally, the site was used from the 1830s to 1984 to isolate people migrating to Australia suspected of carrying contagious diseases. Extremely topical. Thank you, Gabs. If ships entering...
Sure is. I like how Gab's like, in case you don't know like what's been going on. Like
I do appreciate that she really has zero faith in our ability to understand the world, which like you're not wrong.
No, you're on top of it.
If ships entering the heads had a sick patient on board, they were required to hoist a yellow flag. I have heard about that. Before disembarking all passengers, not just the infected ones. Here they were scrubbed within an inch of their lives, had their luggage autoclaved, and were kept away from the local Sydney residents for several weeks or months. For healthy passengers, it was an extended holiday. For others, it was a frightening experience of disease and death. In total, 600 people died here. They used acid water to wash the workers and staff. Experimental and non-scientific practices were used to try and cure people of diseases. Oh my God. It's now a national park with lots of native animals such as possums, echidnas, bandicoots, and little penguins.
Oh, so sweet.
I'm into that.
Also quite a range.
I love it. Yeah, very Australia of you. There's probably big spiders too that you're not telling us about.
Yeah, you just neglected all the snakes, but okay.
I think we know about all the snakes and all the spiders. There is also luxury accommodation in the renovated healthy quarters, which is where we stayed for one night. As you can imagine, this place is super haunted. They have ghost tours and we did go on one, but it wasn't too spooky for me. I had a moment that shook me. I got a migraine and heard heavy breathing when I was walking through the morgue/workers' quarters, but it's nothing compared to what I experienced overnight in our room.
Uh-oh.
I know. I always wish like ghost experiences would like stay isolated on a tour so that you could go home and talk about it, not like go home and
it's like you wish it was like a movie, like, oh, that time in the theater was crazy.
Yes.
Moving on with our lives.
Now let's have a glass of wine and just like chill without any interruption. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our bed was really big, so as we drifted off to sleep, we rolled over to our respective sides of the bed. I woke up startled at around 3 a.m., seeing a full body apparition of a shadow man lying in between us. Oh, on his
That's
side, facing me.
good fucking bye.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
hang on. Good.
Can you? I just like
Oh.
it took me a second to catch up with the fact that they were in bed with you. That's just next level
Yeah,
stuff.
because you always assume like, oh, it's at the foot of your bed, like original, you know?
In the
But
doorway or something.
like at least there's a little space removed from you and them. Like it's
You have like your
uncomfortably
little zone.
close.
Yeah.
Like we know the perimeter of the mattress is like your
Ooh.
space and like they can just peer over. But
And
once they're lying next to you and also like literally barricading you from your
that's about
safe
what I was
person.
about to say. Like they're in between you and the only other like safety person in the room.
Every time I wake up, this happens kind of often, which is unnerving, but
Oh.
I wake up kind of often feeling like there's someone in the room and I just tell myself like, no, I had a bad dream and I was rattled and I should just go to sleep and ignore it. But I usually wake up and I for sure can feel that there's someone staring at us, but at least I can like scoot closer to
Yeah.
Allison.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking protect me, but like I at least have that mental safety net. But if I looked over at Allison and instead I saw a ghost corpse staring at
I don't
me,
think I'd ever sleep again. I really don't. I don't know.
nope,
Mm-mm.
absolutely not.
Especially in like in a strange hotel room. Um, let's see. I woke up to a full body apparition of a shadow man lying in between us on his side facing me. I jumped out of bed screaming. It didn't wake my boyfriend. It was so bizarre. I thought maybe I was having a night terror and shook it off. I get them, but they're usually caused by visions of bugs in the bed. Doesn't that happen, Al? Or am I not supposed to talk about that?
No, you can talk about that. I haven't gotten permission, but it's certainly something I have to deal with. So it's something everyone else
Just
has to
blame
deal
me. I'm
with.
far away now.
No, Allison has this really cute habit where she'll wake up and have it's like the most attractive thing about her. She'll wake up with these weird night terrors that there are spiders all over her, or I don't know, they're not spiders, they weren't cockroaches, although they should be with the
Yeah,
trauma
that
we've
makes
had
more
on that.
sense.
But she wakes up with something on her and she freaks the fuck out. Like she'll like wake up like RoboCop, like or, like just like the Terminator, and then she just freaks out and she's like gets out of bed and she's like dancing around like she's trying to shake things off of her. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then she'll just look around and be like, never mind. And just go back
my
to
goodness. Well, what was I about to say? It's weird because I lived with her for like 3 years and this never happened. So this must be a new thing.
It's got to be one of those things that like it depends on what you eat or something, because it's only happened twice.
I thought it was more often than
It's
that.
happened 2 times too fucking
Yeah, because you
many.
definitely call it a habit. So in my mind, I was like, oh, this must be like a weekly
Well,
occurrence.
so Allison has a weird sleeping habit where she will have full conversations with me and
Yes,
just not
that
remember
much
it.
definitely happened when we lived together.
And a lot of them are borderline threatening to my safety, where she'll just like,
oh no.
she looks like she's gonna fucking fight me. Like there have been a few times where I've backed out of the room because she just looked terrifying while she was like, she'll wake up and stare me down. Her eyes are open and she's staring into my soul, and she's like, she'll literally point at the door and go, no, as in like, get the fuck out. And I'm just like, it's me, I'm right here. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Done here. This is it. I got the message.
Got it. Yeah. So it's either that or fucking bugs all over her.
Both are pretty bad.
Not good. Anyway.
Okay, so Shadow Man lying
right,
what?
yes, the corpse Shadow Man on the bed. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we're still there. Let's see. I thought I had a night terror, shook it off. I get them, but they're usually caused by visions of bugs in the bed. I tried to go back to sleep, but I kept being pushed awake. I'd look around the room and see the figure standing in different places, but disappearing at the blink of an eye.
Oh, no.
It didn't feel aggressive or evil or even scary. It was more annoying than anything. I didn't sleep very well. Needless to say, Quarantine Station in Manly, a suburb of Sydney, is absolutely haunted and spooky, but also stunning. I couldn't recommend it enough as a story you should cover and a place you should stay in. Okay, well, we'll see about that. If you're ever in this hemisphere. I've been listening to you since 2018. Can't thank you enough. If it wasn't for you normalizing the paranormal, I wouldn't have had the courage to stay at Quarantine Station. Okay, don't put this on us.
This
okay,
is not
Gaps.
our fault, thank you.
We didn't tell you to do this.
Kind effort, but no.
I guess we are now using this for content for our show. So
If you've been
Fair
listening
point.
since 2018, you know that the first thing we would have said is get the fuck out of there.
And just so you know, I have shared, and that's why we drink with so many friends here in Sydney. We love you. All the
Aw.
best, Gabs. Wow, that's spooky. That's the kind of place where I would be like, I'll handle the travel arrangements. And then I'd be like, surprise. And then I'd knock at M's door and be like, I regret everything I've done.
Oh, Christine, you would do that, or you have done that for 2 tours now? Huh. Do you know how quickly the number of haunted places I've stayed in skyrocketed because you were responsible directly for my travel?
Oh God.
And like, I guess in Gab's situation, at least it didn't feel threatening or ominous. It was just an annoyance. But still, it's like, that's even weirder. It's like, what are you doing?
That is weird. That is weird that because you'd think any strange presence would feel threatening no matter what. But the fact that it like didn't feel threatening is really alarming to me.
And I always kind of operate under the assumption that if people around you aren't waking up during this, it's because they don't want them to.
Yeah.
And so it feels like they wanted your attention and to annoy you and have nobody else be able to help.
And lie next to you in bed. So goodbye.
Good night. Okay.
So thank you so much for the very topical story, Gabs. I appreciate it.
Extremely topical. It really was. I appreciate you making sure we knew that though.
I do too. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3. So
this is another freaking poem.
I don't know. Oh,
it looks like it.
Sure is. Yay.
Why do I have to get serenaded? Why can't I serenade you? All right, go ahead.
You shut up, Christine. You've serenaded me so many times.
Eva's finally getting me back for this. Okay, I get it.
Thank you, Eva, for at least this time we're not on stage and you're not holding my hand and staring directly into my heart.
Oh, I miss those days.
Okay, here we go. This is from Aubrey, who I think is writing on behalf of Mothman.
Oh my God.
Aubrey uses she, her pronouns. I'm assuming Mothman uses they, them pronouns still. And the first part of it says, sorry, Christine, but as soon as I heard M's suggestion for Cryptid Poetry Slam, I had to pause the episode and go write this. So here we go. It's called Mothman's Lost Love. And this is where we insert some sort of like ambient jazz. I take flight, yet I do not flap my wings. I make no noise as I soar over a pleasant town. Am I lost or did I lose something? Someone? I don't know. I take flight. This world is unfamiliar to me, and I am unfamiliar to myself. What am I searching for that has been lost? My home, my sense of self, someone I care for? I take flight. Suddenly, I feel something, a familiar presence, a tug. I tug in my chest, pulling me like a magnet. I take flight. There is a loud beating, but it's not from my wings, it's from my heart. I am flying. Then I see eyes meet eyes as red as mine. I found them, the one I have been looking for. We embrace at last. I am home. Oh wait, there's more.
Okay.
We are 2 creatures stuck in this foreign world together. We don't know how and we don't know why, but we have each other and we are happy. We take flight, yet we do not flap our wings, and we make no noise as we soar over a pleasant town.
Okay, why do they all love poems?
I'm not even questioning it. It's exactly what I wanted. I imagine Mothman has like this lore of like looking for love, right? So like it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. I guess I'm just jealous. So
you just wish someone would write. I think that's why you had such a resistance to this earlier. I think you just want someone to pretend they're Mothman and write you a love letter. I get it.
Is that not what's happening?
I see it. And
Isn't
I get
that exactly what's going on right now?
Your feelings. No? I'm just saying, I think you wish someone in like real life, like a high school dream, you would open your locker and there'd be a note and it'd be from your secret admirer, Mothman.
I mean, yeah, that's like exactly what I want. It's not a secret. This is like exactly, everyone knows it.
And it's valid. It's valid. I just want you to know.
Thank you.
That. Yeah, you're seen and you're heard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So this is from Casper, who uses they, them pronouns. Ooh. And the subject is, my DNA is helping solve a murder mystery. Oh,
Good
that's
night.
Casual. Hey, Christine M, Eva, Geo, Jeannie, Mooney, and Lemon. I'm a longtime listener, first-time writer, minus an Instagram DM I sent M in 2017.
Okay,
Were
cool.
you left on red? Because that's usually what happens.
I don't know. I try to at least heart everything that comes my way.
I always feel like an ass when I do that because they're like write a long message and then I just like heart it and they're like,
I
thanks
like
for
to
the.
I like to think that if I heart it, they at least know that I acknowledge what they said. But there's just, in a very wonderful way, there's too many messages where if I had the time to write everyone back, I would. But there's just too many.
I
And
haven't
don't want
opened
to.
messages since 2018, so there are probably like 10. I mean, there's so many. I
I
just haven't even
appreciate
tried.
them. I appreciate them. It's just that there's a lot, and it would be unfair to pick who I write back to. So, anyway. There you go.
Mine
Hi,
are
Casper.
just in there. Yeah. Hi, Casper. Okay. I just listened to the Beach Too Sandy episode about poutineries in Canada, where the challenge was to find reviews of shocking DNA results. And I think my DNA results are right up Christine's alley. My grandpa got me an ancestry kit for Christmas in 2018 because I'd always been curious about my heritage, seeing as my maternal grandfather was adopted, and I was kept away from my dad and his immediate family for my safety, so I only ever heard about my maternal grandmother's family history. The heritage part wasn't super surprising, but the message I received from Yolanda McClary from Cold Justice certainly was.
Oh.
Apparently, I am a relative of the Eldorado Jane Doe.
Hey.
Eldorado Jane Doe was the name given to a woman in her 20s to 30s who was found murdered at the Whitehall Motel in Arkansas. Well, did you not catch that with Jane Doe?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. Did you think her name was actually Jane Doe and she was
name
like
was
a
Jane
serial
Doe.
killer?
This is why Gabs let us know that one about quarantine was very topical because
okay, well, a Jane Doe
time.
typically in true crime stories is the victim without an identity.
I got it. I was just excited
John
to
Doe,
hear
Jane
that there
Doe.
was no, I'm usually very on top of that, but I just assumed that there was like I got carried away with the excitement of finding out something about your ancestry and the end. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw your face drop when I said murdered. You were very surprised. Okay. Eldorado Jane Doe was the name given to a woman in her 20s to 30s who was found murdered at the Whitehall Motel in Arkansas in July of 91. The police knew how she died and even who her killer was, but have yet to figure out her true identity. Her short life had involved drugs, sex work, and possibly even a bank robbery that had led her to use ever-changing aliases when meeting people, and even when she was arrested. Her murderer, who was her ex-boyfriend, James McAlphin, claims to know her true identity, but has been dismissed as unreliable. I'm related to her on my dad's side, and the murder happened before I was born, so unfortunately, I wasn't much help being able to recognize her, but hopefully my DNA will help narrow down which of my great-grandparents' 8 children was potentially her parent, as my dad and his mother refused to submit their DNA to help narrow it down. So yeah, talk about a DNA plot twist. Love everything y'all do, Casper. Woof.
Huh.
Holy crap.
Did I miss this, or do we know why the parents wouldn't want to submit their DNA? I guess there could be a million reasons.
Yeah, that. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people just don't feel comfortable with it, I think.
Totally valid. I just think if I heard that like I could crack a case and be like, I'm on it. Put me in, coach. Take my blood, you know?
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's a lot of stuff in the family history that's trying to be avoided. So, like the danger from the paternal side. Wow, spooky. So that's crazy that Yolanda from Cold Justice reached out to you. Sheesh.
I mean, that's pretty dope. Also,
it is.
The total sidebar, but I really like the name Casper. And like maybe I'm primed because of like the friendly ghost.
It's a great name.
It's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
So I
also love the name Jasper. So
see, I'm more of a Casper person, and I think that's because of the ghost priming. The fact that there's a ghost out there named Casper. But I do like it. I just, when I think of Jasper, I think of one of the 101 Dalmatian robbers. So, you know the one.
Okay.
Anyway.
When I think of Casper, I think of an animated ghost, but you know.
Well, Casper uses they, them pronouns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, anyway, if you are Casper, since you have they, them pronouns, I'm wondering if maybe you changed your name and decided on Casper. Maybe not. Either way, it's a dope fucking name. Congratulations.
It is. I love it. Congratulations on the great taste you have in names.
You have amazing taste.
If there's something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, I think we all can agree elephant in the room 2020 is probably that for most of us.
Yeah.
BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. Em and I have both used it, had great results. We're really able to get through some stuff thanks to BetterHelp.
There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. This is not a crisis line. It's not a self-help line, but it is professional counseling done securely online. I've certainly used it. I know you've used it. Allison's used it.
Mhm.
Everyone who has gone through the last year might want to consider it. We all need help, and it is okay to reach out, and BetterHelp is there for you.
BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/drink. That's better HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp. They are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And that's why We Drink listeners get 10% off of their first month at betterhelp.com/drink.
So I did a fun thing yesterday, Em, where I made one of my favorite, I can't say favorite, recipes from HelloFresh, and it was the barbecue pineapple flatbreads. And I made it, but Blaze was at work. So then I put the rest in the fridge and he didn't eat it that night, probably because I didn't tell him it was there. And then the next day for lunch, I ate the other half. And I was like, now I got 2 servings of one of my favorite meals. This is my new go-to when Blaze is at work, make myself 2 servings.
You're so bad. You're
I'm so naughty.
So naughty. So naughty. Hey, if you're new and you don't know what HelloFresh is, welcome. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or less. And they offer 10 to 20 minute meals, low prep recipes, and quick breakfasts and lunches, perfect for your busy schedule.
Go to HelloFresh.com/drink12 and use code drink12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping.
That's HelloFresh.com/drink12 and use code drink12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. Okay, then my next one. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So if you are caught up, and speaking of extremely topical, #Gabs, my most recent episodes have been about QAnon. And so this one, the title is QAnon Casualties. My mom thinks I want to kill her.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, so we really shifted from Mothman lust.
Shifted gears here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is from Sona, who uses she, her pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And this is the story. Let me make sure that this is... Okay. Hi, y'all. First off, I really appreciate Em covering the story of QAnon and the obvious empathy they have for the topic. Oh, thank you. Obvious empathy is really what I was looking for. So thank you. It's really hard to hear it treated as a joke, especially since I have lost so much because of it. I don't know if this really fits as true crime or paranormal, but I wanted to share my personal crazy story about QAnon. So let's crack into it. My mom has always been into conspiracies, so when QAnon came about, she was all in. I don't know how she found it, but she was in on the ground floor and was sucked into QAnon pretty much as soon as it started in late 2017. She would send me all kinds of crazy videos that seemed funny to me because they were so out there and the editing looked like it was some kind of Tim and Eric sketch. But she steadily got deeper and deeper, and I watched her cheerful, kind, optimistic attitude drain from her. Come summer 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, which she didn't believe was real, by the way, and the Black Lives Matter protests, which I, as an anti-fascist, participated in, and she was completely off her rocker. She would incessantly send texts with screenshots from Q drops or breadcrumbs that I talked about in the show, and tweets, and wouldn't stop despite me begging her to eventually... she would send these screenshots of Q drops and tweets and wouldn't stop despite me begging. And eventually I threatened to block her number if she kept it up. When she found out that I was going to Black Lives Matter rallies, she started calling me a terrorist and a pedophile.
Oh, good. Super.
She was convinced that I was killing babies. Which if you haven't caught up yet on QAnon stuff, one of the reasons that the mom might be thinking this is because Black Lives Matter, according to QAnon, is a distraction from the bigger issue, which is that the media is involved in a human sex trafficking ring, especially with babies, a baby trafficking ring. So Black Lives Matter equals feeding into this industry that is actually doing some really shady shit. And therefore you are pro killing babies because you're enabling the system. One day I posted a cab on my Instagram, and my sister saw it and sent it to my mom because my dad is a retired cop and my sister is a narc.
I was about to say, okay.
Yeah. My mom stopped talking to me for about 3 months after that. When I
Oh,
told my sister that we haven't been talking, she said, "Yeah, that's because she thinks you want to kill her and dad." And she told me that my mom has been telling my family that I'm a terrorist and a pedophile because I believe that Black Lives Matter and
oh
fashionism is bad.
shit.
Anyway, in July 2020, there was a defund the police rally in Boise, Idaho, where I live, and it ended up being overrun by literal Nazis.
Great.
Um, and that rally, which was a few blocks from my house, I walked home alone. About 10 minutes after I got home, a group of armed men
Nope.
were talking in the street in front of my apartment. I'm nosy as hell, so I peeked out my window to see what was going on, and I heard one of them say, quote, "Yeah, it's a little girl. She lives upstairs." And they pointed to my apartment building.
Oh God.
I'm the only, quote, little girl who lives in my building. Nothing ever happened from that, aside from me putting another deadbolt on my door, but
Yeah.
part of me is very concerned that my mom was somehow involved with it. Yikes. And the
This
sad
is
thing is
horrifying.
that could be so true. That could,
Yeah.
if you think someone's a terrorist or going to kill you, maybe
Like if you
you,
really believe it, even if it's your own
yeah,
child.
maybe you find people who can protect you before something like it happens. I mean, who
That's
knows?
heartbreaking.
I have slowly started to talk to my mom again, but it's been extremely awkward, like getting back together with someone after a really sloppy breakup. Things will never be the same between us because of QAnon. I'm sorry for the long story, but I wanted to thank you again for bringing attention to the topic. I think my friends thought I was crazy for telling them about QAnon over 3 years ago. So it's really refreshing that people are starting to pay attention. Thank you for all you do. XOXO, gossip girl with mommy issues. P.S. I'm using a pseudonym because I have a pretty unique name and I don't want this getting back to me. Okay. So anyway, thank you.
Wow.
And yeah, that's so in the last episode I just covered, we talked about how, in a very broad stroke way, because there was just not enough time in the world to do a case by case situation. But in general, a lot of people aren't just losing family, but are being threatened by these brainwashed victims. And so um, it's this is just an example of that, I guess. So
Yeah.
thank you
Scary.
for telling the story and helping spread the word. So
Yeah, because that adds like a level of humanity and personal story to the whole
yeah,
issue.
the whole thing.
The whole
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah. If you are someone who if that related to you in any way, or if you felt something from it and you are dealing with something similar, you can check out, especially on Reddit right now, which is ironic, but you can check out QAnon casualties and also recovery with a Q. And those are two really good forums that people are using as sources to find other people with their similar situation. So there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, and that episode, the final and the three-parter came out yesterday when this episode comes out. So
Yes.
it's out already. Okay, cool. And I haven't edited it yet, but it's probably going to be like over 4 hours. So sorry about that.
Our longest yet, but
Yeah. My bad. That
my
was
bad. What are you talking about? Oh my God.
M's bad. Okay. I have something for you.
Oh God. Okay.
We're gonna shift gears here.
We seem to be doing that.
We seem to be like, I'm getting fucking whiplash over here. This is from Elizabeth. She her pronouns. Thank you, Elizabeth. This is called Mothman at a Poetry Slam.
Okay. Well, haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah,
So
Eva clearly was like rolling her eyes when I was like, why don't I get to read one? Like, I'm literally a petulant child. So I apologize for complaining before I even knew I got to read one.
Eva knows this too well.
Did you read number 5 just now?
I did.
Okay, I just want to make sure she's not like, this isn't for you, Christine. Okay, so here we go. This is from Elizabeth. Hey friends, listen, I'm that one person screaming in my car because I think you're not that one person. There's apparently a lot of you. Because I think Cryptid Slam Poetry Night is the best idea Em has ever had. And Em has had a lot of ideas, you guys. So there's been sandwiches, there's been all sorts of stuff.
This makes me so happy. I'm so glad because I was saying it and I felt ashamed that the idea was so random. But okay, thank you
No, people are into it, clearly. I'm already trying to figure out how to include this in my poetry unit with my 5th grade kiddos I teach at school in West Virginia, by the way. I'm not a professional, but here's my attempt at spoken moth poetry. So much love and light and lamp. Get it? Moth joke to all y'all.
I love
All
it.
right. This
I
is
love it.
called An Ode to Lamp and Self-Love. I'm going to read this as if I were at a poetry slam, okay?
I've never been so ready for a performance.
I get to serenade you again.
Yeah, well.
We knew it would come to this. It all started with a wrong turn. You just can't trust your antennae these days. Too many new scents accruing in abnormal air. Darkness dissolving the familiar. I asked for directions, attempted at least. They were rude, no, rigid. Not that either. Ruthless. I understand. I am not a looker. Beauty walked past my door. Charm missed the bus to my place.
Ain't that the truth?
Excuse me, I'm trying to read a poem up here on stage and you're interrupting the flow.
I'm the positive heckler who's like, keep going.
Yeah. Well, I spent about 3 weeks memorizing this, so now.
Can you say the part about charm again? It makes me so happy.
I asked for directions, attempted at least. They were rude. No, rigid. Not that either. Ruthless. I understand. I am not a looker. Beauty walked past my door. Charm missed the bus to my place. Allure? She never left the house, honey. But I like me well enough. I think the pink creatures would have liked me too, had they moved past the radiant round rubies on my face and the elongated elastic extensions along either side of me. I find my wings elegant, thanks very much. Nevertheless, I digress. Loneliness is a friend I made many moons ago. I just ask that next time, please help an insect person out with directions or I may never find that fleeting flamboyant fluorescence again. Fiend.
You were meant to recite poetry and that person was meant to write it. Excellent. Beyond. Brava.
Now just give me a week to really like practice where the beats are. And I mean, listen, we can start something, Elizabeth. We can start something.
We should make and that's why I drink. We should have an annual poetry slam where we just do a live show of people presenting their cryptid poetry.
Why was I not on board with this right away? I think it's because you said Bigfoot and I just was like, he would just grunt. But Mothman was like something I hadn't really imagined. And it seems like everyone's gone that direction. So I'm finally on board.
Think of Slender Man. Think of the Totzelworm. Think of the jackalope. Think of the Jersey Devil. I mean, we've got a lot we could work with here.
A lot of options here. Nessie would probably have some really bubbly things to say.
The Puckwudgie, he's the weirdo in the group, surprisingly. Not really surprisingly.
Hey, careful. We're at a very safe space here in this poetry slam.
We're at this safe space, but he's the one who's like trying to like, I think he's a little too serious with his art and people can tell, but that's okay. We're all learning.
All right. I mean, you're the one yelling at everyone on stage. So
if you happen to be the person who sends in Puckwudgie Poetry Slam, I will mentally marry you because that would just be mwah. Okay. Next, let's see. This is not poetry, but a wonderful story. This is from Amber, who uses she, her pronouns. And the subject is Rajneesh.
Yay, we know about that.
So here's the story. This isn't really a huge story. I like there's no high or anything. It's like, let's cut.
I kind of like that though.
Let's fucking get to the chase.
But every time people do that, we end up filling so much space talking about how they don't have a hello that it just like wastes time anyway. So
they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Amber says, this isn't really a huge story, but I was listening to your most recent episode and I wanted to share this little tidbit. My family is from Eastern Oregon and my mom was a young woman when all of this was happening. She remembers when members of the cult world came into the town and some people she knew got sick when they poisoned the food at that restaurant.
The salad bar with salmonella. Horrifying.
Yeah. The actual funny connection is that after my grandparents passed, we were cleaning out their house, and apparently my grandmother, being the sensible, frugal woman she was, bought several large pieces of furniture from a sale after the Purim was shut down. When we moved, these pieces were large posters with the leader's face on them and were pasted all over the backs of the furniture.
Oh,
we all had a good laugh about it, but still a freaky moment in time for an area full of small little communities. And that's it. But
wow.
I mean,
that's chilling.
Super chilling. Wow.
To clear out a space and find like remnants of Such a traumatic, dangerous time.
That's really eerie.
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Because it all got dismantled.
It's so removed from the present.
Yeah.
So it would be weird to look at it and hold it and be like, wow, there was a whole other world and community dealing with this the last time someone ever saw this stuff. It's so wild.
Ugh, yikes. That is spooky. Who is that from again? Did we say?
That was from Amber.
Thank you, Amber. Okay, so this is the last story then.
Whee!
Okay, get ready. This
God.
is from Kiana. He's she, her pronouns. Thank you, Kiana. And the subject is spooky slam poetry. My gosh,
God.
people are really on board with this.
I'm telling you.
Thank you for letting me read some too. I'm sorry I got childish and whiny about it earlier. She's like, I knew you would. So anyway.
She's like, this isn't my first rodeo with the
It's you and Eva are both like
your siblings. If you don't share the space, then someone's mad.
Yep. So it starts. Hey y'all, Em said they wanted some cryptid/ghost slam poetry and that there's probably one person interested in that. Well, here I am, Em. Well, you're now number 4, but you're in line. You're in the first group here. So
of many, by the way.
Of apparently, well, at least 4.
Well, I'm saying of many because I imagine many more will present itself. I feel like there were some other people who wanted to send in stories, but then they were.
I mean, there might have been more, but Eva just picked 4, to be fair. I'm sure
Maybe.
there were more of you.
Or maybe they were like, I don't want to be the only one who sends something in. And now this episode will let everyone know, no, this is a safe space.
We're kind of trying to mainstream it. Yeah. Okay. Well, here I am, Em. So I guess knuckle and buckle.
Let's go.
There's a car blasting Radiohead outside. So give me a moment.
That's actually like perfect to like really get yourself mentally warmed up of Radiohead. And also I love that it gives me an extra second to really prepare for another award-winning performance from Christine Schieffer.
Oh, thank you. You're gonna have to take a few breaths here because I think I'm gonna have to
really get into it.
Okay. Really get into it. We don't even know who this is yet. If it's Mothman or we'll find out.
Maybe it's that puckwudgie I was talking about.
Maybe it is. I feel the pull once again, calling to me, summoning me from the darkness. The voices echoing inside my head. My hands are cold as death. I don't know where I am. I stumble, a single step forward, blindly, arms outreached, fingers searching. Another step forward, the darkness breaks ever so faintly, a dull glow just ahead. The pull is so strong this time, I know I don't have long. Right, left, faster until my hands feel it, the barrier, firm yet giving under my touch. The voices are no longer in my head. I can hear them, just across from me, just behind the barrier, calling to me, calling out my name. I start to see them, the faces distorted from this side. I call back to them as I push against the barrier. All that comes out is a raspy screech. My hands force their way through. They stop calling out. I claw frantically for something, anything. If I could just get a hold, I could pull myself through. The faces start to vanish. I call out again, just a scream. I curse them for leaving. No sound escapes. Why do they always leave me? They must know I'm trapped. Why do they never help me through? The faces have all left. Without them, I'm pulled back into the darkness, haunted by their chants, wishing desperately that they would start again. So I wait. I'll wait forever if I have to. Wait for the call that swirls through my mind. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody. The end. Oh, I just got chills. Oh my God.
Pulitzer Prize.
Pulitzer
Prize.
I didn't expect that. I thought it was a moth stuck in a lamp, and we went a completely other way.
I was trying to think. That one had like a little like a twist to it. I did not expect Bloody Mary.
I was like, who's chanting? And I get it now. Wow.
At some point, I thought it was just like a plain old haunting and like a general ghost. You know?
Oh, I was picturing lamp
Bloody
the
Mary.
whole time. I thought we were doing a lamp joke. But wow, that was spooky. Okay, and
well
then
done.
She said, "Hope y'all enjoyed. I definitely had a blast writing this. Stay spooky, friends." Woo! That was really
that's
creepy.
Fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, there you have it. If you needed a sign that maybe you should try your hand at some cryptid poetry, there you have it.
Wow, and now I want to write one. This is fun. You were right. I take it back.
I thank
This
you.
is the
Wow.
shit. I am so into this right now.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear. Oh,
Eva, thank you for letting us get this out of our system and perform it on air.
Perform. I mean, I really am not I'm not like a poetry reader. I certainly don't know what I'm.
I
like
love to read giant anthologies of poems.
Well, like when I was like doing my 2 Mothman ones earlier, I feel bad because I'm like not, and I don't know how to deliver poetry quite like you certainly.
No, it's only because my dad used to read me a lot of poetry about, dying and death mostly. So I tried to bring that kind of mystique into it.
And look where you are today, Christine.
And look how healthy I've turned out.
Look how
well adjusted I am. Thanks, Dad.
And thank you everyone for sending in your stories. We very much appreciate it. If you would like to submit your own stories for future listeners episodes, you can do that too. And that's why we drink at gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm going to start a new one called like, I'll come up with a title, but like a slam, a cryptid slam at gmail.com. We'll work on it. Submissions.
I think it would also be fun if there was like a narrative at some point where someone describes the scene, like what the poet is seeing in the audience. It'll of these other cryptids.
Interior, 6 rows of folding chairs, an espresso machine hisses in the background.
And 3 rows of black-eyed children on a field trip. Like
black-eyed children. Okay, let me, Eva, write that down. I want to write
there should be 2 poems where they're from different perspectives of different black-eyed children. Hang on a second. Wait, a poetry where like one's the ghost and one's the live person, and they're both dealing with their own version of the haunt.
Yeah, they see the different experience from each other's eyes.
Take me out of here.
Okay.
Okay. If you've got spooky poetry, paranormal poetry, I'm trying to think of alliteration.
Kiana, you did a great job with this. I mean, all of you did, but this Bloody Mary was such a twist. I love it.
Look, you got
you gave me chills with a cryptid poem. I didn't think that would happen, and it did. So I'm very impressed by all of you.
Well, I appreciate everybody. Please send in other personal true crime or paranormal stories, as well as your cryptid slam poetry. I'm genuinely serious. I would love to have some sort of like annual poetry slam where we have people come.
100% on board now. Like I thought, I was like, oh, this is silly. No, I am like I'm in. I'm on it. I'm in. I'll invest. Like I don't know what you need from me. I'll paint a set. I don't know what I can. I can use a staple gun. Is that helpful?
You can use a Cricut cutter.
I can use a Cricut. I'll make some vinyl. Okay, we're all gonna have t-shirts. It's gonna be fun.
I am so excited. You heard it here first, folks. And we'll figure that out at some point and at 3 a.m., I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. It will be late into the night after a lot of wine.
We will see you next month for our April listeners story, which is April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Oh, that's right. Oh, get ready.
And
that's
why
we
drink.